Hello, and welcome to another episode of eBay Scavengers. This is episode number 117 on ebayscavengers.com.
Today we're interviewing Tim Chapman from it's Mr. Customer Service. And the reason why we're talking to him is because he sells only auctions. He's the exact opposite of what we do. He sells about twice as much stuff as we do. He's full-time eBay. He does it, and I'm a skeptical person on auctions. I don't like auctions, but he has a logic that is hard to argue if you're into doing it the way he does it.
And he has a lot of experience, and we really like talking to him about his process, so check it out.
Today we're talking with Tim Chapman.
Mr. Customer Service.
Yeah. It's a good name. And, the reason why we're excited to talk to you is that in our last podcast, we had kind of poo-pooed auctions. Our whole thing is to list a lot of items and get a big inventory so you can, sell a lot on a consistent basis.
Buy it now,
but
mostly.
There are people who do sell auctions, and one of our listeners linked to a you and shows that your store is only auctions, and you actually have about 35,000 feedback, and you have 2,500 positive feedback just in the past 12 months. So you obviously are doing something correct.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a full-timer. And I do almost all auctions. There's a few things I'll put in my store, but almost all auctions,
Well, so some of our, if we could take a quick step back, those of our listeners that don't know you, could you briefly talk about how you started the eBay store?
I'm full-time. I guess it's about 13 years now. What happened, I was working a real job, and one day my boss came up and goes, "Hey, Tim, I want you to sell some of that used dive gear." I used to be in the diving industry, scuba diving. "I want you to sell some used dive gear in the dive locker on eBay." I made an account and learned how to sell it. And I go, okay. I never sold anything before at all. And sure enough, it's not that hard to learn. And I went on there and I started selling stuff. And the stuff that we sold are all fairly high-end items, like full face masks. They go for like $700 or $800. And I put a few things on and they all sold. And I go, my gosh, this is great. So I've been a swap meter forever, my whole life, and I love finding deals and stuff, and I go, well, I want to do this at home, so I made my own account, and I started at home, and sure enough, it's going to town. I just kind of went from there, and about 6 months later, I told my wife that I was going, and I've been working at the other job for 12 years, and I was the number one sales guy, sales and marketing, and I told her I'm going to quit my job. She goes, okay. And she thought I was kidding. And then I did it. But I knew that I could spend more time on my own, because I'm only doing it part-time. I could spend more time on my own and make at least the same amount of money and not have all the office stuff. There's always office stuff going on. And when I did, my brother-in-law called me, "Are you crazy?" He was seriously thinking I was crazy doing this because I had a steady job. But I already knew I would already be successful because I had already dabbled in it and I already knew what I can do. And I knew I had places to get product, and so that was the start. And that was 13 years ago, and I've been full-time ever since. And it's been
that's what we always tell people who are thinking about going full-time is that at some point you should test it out and make sure it's going to work for you. But at some point, you've got to make that leap because people try and do both at the same time, and it's hard to work part-time and do eBay. You really have to kind of jump in and make it happen.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of quotes and stuff. I've always been about success. Even when I was in my old job, I listened to success tapes on selling and all this stuff. And I love all these quotes. Well, one quote, "You cannot get to second base with you keep one foot on first. You gotta go for it. But you don't want people to go when they're not ready. And people ask this question all the time, and it seems like you'll know. You just know.
Yeah.
Time. And that's what it was for me.
So let's talk now about buying inventory. I have heard a couple of podcasts it's been on, and you talk about swap meets. And when I look at your inventory, it looks like estate sale kind of stuff. It's just kind of, swap meet, is that like a flea market? Maybe that's a California thing.
Yeah, out there it's flea market. I'm in California. I'm in Southern California, and they're called swap meets out here. And really what they are, I go through them, I go to every Saturday, and I crank today. I think so good. If you want stories, I'll give you I give you a couple of stories, but I did so good today. But essentially what they are, it's the same people selling every week. And they go to, you see the Storage War guys? Well, these are the real people that really do this. They go to the storage auctions, they bid on the storage units, they buy them, they put them in the truck, put all the junk in the truck, and then they bring it out to swap meet, and the second time they see it is when they put it out there. They have no idea what they have, except when the first time they put it in the truck, and I buy it from them. I don't have room to do that myself, and you get a whole bunch of trash. When that happens, I just buy the good stuff. You just buy good stuff.
And now, and when I heard it, you talk, you've said that there people know who you are, and they know that you love to buy like knives and the whole things. It's for you, and it's all about being good to people. Why do you think they give you such good deals? Like, why don't they sell on eBay?
Oh, well, it's too much for them. And a lot of these people are non-eBay people. They might not be non-computer people too. But they need me, I need them. When I say I make friends with them, because they know that I'm serious. There's where I go this morning when I got there at 6 o'clock in the morning. The parking lot for this college is packed at 6 o'clock in the morning. You would not believe it. And even in the wintertime when it's dark out, everybody's got flashlights. It's crazy because they know. They know that you can make a lot. You can take $100 and you can 2 or 3 times your money very, very easily on a Saturday morning. And they know me. They know I'm a full-timer because I'm not afraid to spend money. If you have something good, I will buy everything that I can at your spot. But when you're friends with them, it's kind of a negotiating tactic, not in a bad way. Tactics negotiated are not bad. Those are good things. They need me. I need them. And I'll tell them, honestly, this is what I can pay for this, and if not, I'll walk away. That's all there is to it. So I don't have to buy this thing, and they know that. So it's kind of a negotiating tactic to be able
So, as I said, you have 2,500 positive feedback in the 12 months, so you sold at least 2,500 things, probably double that. So how much did you spend today? Like, what kind of output are you having to put down to buy this stuff?
On Saturdays, I try to spend all I can. It's kind of a weird thing because I want to spend more money. But I spent about $500, somewhere in there. And my return on that will be, I did really good today, so I know my return will probably be about 4 times that, easily.
Okay, so this is, I think, why we really wanted to talk to you, and that's how you put your items up, how you list
how you do listing,
your items. So what's your process to a list?
Okay, so here's my process through the week. Today is Saturday. I buy things on Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, I take pictures of all the big stuff. Now, I have larger items and I have small items. eBay, we all tend to lean towards small items because we got to be able to ship them. But I have larger items because on Tuesday I ship. So I list on Saturday today, I buy my items. I take pictures of them. Tomorrow I have church, so we're off on Sunday. Monday is my listing day. I will list all day long, all the pictures that I took today. And then, of course, I'm on auctions, so everything sells on Monday night, so now I ship on Tuesday. Tuesday I ship all day. Then on Wednesday is a day off. It's my other day off. I just answer emails. And then on Thursday I do estate sales in the morning, and I take some pictures and then list in the afternoon. And then on Friday I do estate sales in the morning, and of course the auctions are ending on Thursday, so I ship on Friday. And then on Saturday it all starts over.
So then when you are taking a photos, it's about 100 items, or how many items are we talking about?
No, on my listing days, I want to list about 40 items or so on Mondays and on Thursdays. So I'll list about 80 items a week. So that's manageable. Most of us that are full-time, we're already maxed, and we're maxed out on time. So what happens is you start working smarter. So what I've been doing for the last couple of years, and it's doing very well, is that in the beginning, we always sell whatever we can sell. We sell something and it sells for $10. Oh, I made a sale. Oh, my gosh. How wonderful. But that's not the smart way to do it because you do exactly the same amount of work and you pay, $20 for something. You sell it for $100, the same amount of work, but you're making $80. But essentially, you have this huge profit margin. So I've been slowly trying to move myself to higher end items. It's hard to do because I'm at the swap meet, or at a estate sale, and I look at that and I go, oh my gosh, I know I can sell that, but I have to try to take myself not to buy it. So because there's amount of work involved. Your time is worth it.
I mean, we're the same way. We always tell people, and we tell ourselves, I mean, we'll spend as much time putting up an item that's going to sell for $10 as if it will sell for $100. You know, it's the same amount of time. So yeah.
Exactly. So you want to do that. You want to make sure. And when you're only doing, because I still do some like pens, some items that are very easy to ship and very easy to store, I'll still do them, and they sell for, $15 or something. And then items that do sell for $100 but perhaps much higher, you would spend more time taking pictures and even a video or something like that. So make sure to put your time in there as it.
So I have some very specific questions. So you only do a 3-day when you put these items up, a 3-day auction?
No, I do 7-day.
7-day auction, okay.
Yeah, because what happens is there's been some talk about people putting 7-day auctions up, 3-day auctions up, because your auction gets to the top very quickly. That's one of the advantages. I wrote down a bunch of advantages. You guys said you want to talk about advantages of doing auctions compared to what buy it now. So I'm quite different from you guys. You guys are full timers. I'm full time, but quite different in our strategy. Okay, so here we go. And I feel that my argument is good. It's not an argument. Both ways work. But one way might be a little easier. First off, auctions have beginning and end. Okay? I have 7-day auctions. So you begin, like I say, I begin on a Monday. I list on my Monday nights, and I list on Thursday nights. Those are my listing days, and it's convenient for me to do that. So there's convenience about that. But when it's up for a week, the next thing is that the last 6 hours of your auction, your item, when somebody, depending on if you have competition, you're going to be on the top. Somebody looks for your item, you will be the very top, especially I do collectibles. And even if you're doing stuff like, because I will do items like something that's brand new. Everybody else has it at Buy It Now, and I go, well, it's more convenient for me to do it as an auction because I know at the end I'm going to sell it because I list it at just a little lower than what everybody else is selling for. And on auctions, I don't do free shipping. Free shipping for Buy It Nows, it's a big deal, because Amazon people do it and stuff. But on auctions, their tests have found that free shipping doesn't matter on auctions. So I add shipping on all of my auctions. On when I do Buy It Nows, I put free shipping on them. As we know, you guys know that. This kind of happens as kind of a marketing deal. So that's good. So now you can be at the top. You will be at the top for the last 6 hours of the auction. That's why if you look at my items, even right now, you can look at them in order where they're going to end in a couple of days, we'll end on Monday night. I have, a few bids here and there, but the last day, the last 6 hours, my goodness, my sell-through rate is 80 to 85% of the items that I do. So I'm putting up 80 items. I'm shipping about 70 to 75 items a week, and my strategy is like a lot of my items I try to force a home run, if you can say that, because I want just what I'm very, very happy with my minimum bid. But if it doesn't happen, I lower the price for the next week, and I make sure to sell it. So I have like a 2-week thing going on that if it doesn't sell the first week, I lower the price and I blow it out. One part of the reason I do this is because I don't have space. I do not have space, and I only have inventory of 150 items. You guys have inventory of what?
3,500 listed items right now.
Yeah, I can't. So I'm not. It's just I lose track sometimes, and I only have 150. You guys have that many items. I don't have space, and I don't have time to inventory.
So why don't we? So I want to unpack that because I think it's a very compelling argument that you make, and like. As we say, I mean, no one's wrong or right. If it works for you, it works for you. So what percentage of your auctions sell just at the opening bid versus get into like insane war over the bids? Yeah. Like, is it more than half?
I don't know the actual number. Oh, way more than half. Oh, yeah. Way more than half, of course. At the end of the day, you look at them, watch them, and the last half hour, the bidders, the people that like auctions, they're smart. They don't bid and watch it until the last 5 seconds.
Right.
It happens all the time. And then a short story for you. last week I sell a lot of knives. I like knives. I'm a guy, and I like knives. And I buy kitchen knives and hunting knives, all this kind of, and I refurbish them all, make them look all nice and pretty and stuff, and I put them on. And I put a knife on there. It was a cleaver. It was a carbon steel cleaver, no name. It should have sold for about $20 or so. And these two guys, they wanted it, and they were going to win it no matter what. This happens every once in a while. Seriously, it should have sold for $20. The reason it should have sold for $20 is because I had exactly the same one this week, and it sold for $17. Right. The other one,
wow.
These two guys wanted it. I go, okay, sure enough. And I sent it off to them. The guy was in Canada. Yep. I have no problem. You can do that. So another one of the tips, an advantage, if you do a buy it now, and sometimes... Well, let me tell you this with a story. A friend of mine, he does the same thing as me, and he was doing auctions, but he's kind of dabbling in the buy-it-now stuff. And I know fishing. He knows fishing. I do a lot of fishing stuff. He found this fly reel. It's for fly fishing, and it was brass. And he found one on eBay that sold for $350. Well, he had only paid $10 for this thing. So he put it on at a buy-it-now for $375. He was going to go for it, So he put it on, and it sold in 5 minutes for $375. And sure enough, the guy gets an email in about 15 minutes. He goes, "Hey, I can't believe you sold this fly reel for $370. I would have paid you $3,500." He had a total home run, and he lost it because he put it at a buy it now, because he found one that was kind of like it, but it wasn't the exact same one. If he would have put it on an auction, it would have ran and gone crazy. He lost himself $3,000.
All right, so that's, okay, I get that, but how about this? If you're doing a consistent business, though, and you're putting auctions up for, only a week, you're hoping that someone's online looking for that thing in that 7 days. And that I think sometimes is which I guess maybe you've gotten good at it because you've really honed what you look for. So you look for very certain things, and I guess you just learned over 13 years what is going to sell for sure. I see a lot of people put up, auctions, and they sell either at their opening price or they just don't sell, in that 7 days because someone just isn't online who wants it at that moment.
Well, one of the reasons why eBay works is eBay works because we're able to market our item to the whole world for essentially for free. And yes, but that's one of my next tips is that it makes you learn. Like I was saying, this is just two different strategies. You guys are doing 3,400 items or whatever. And these are two different strategies, but it makes you learn when you do auctions, because if it doesn't sell, lower the price, blow it out, and do not buy it again. You're trying to sell junk. So many people on, call eBay Radio, oh my gosh, Griff is trying to be nice. They're trying to sell junk, and they're trying to sell it for a lot of money. I look at this, I go, it's a hunk of junk. Why would somebody want that? Why would you want it? So I go, well, he's trying to be nice as possible, but you learn and learn and learn. And I tell people, I go, you want to give yourself a raise? You really want to give yourself a raise, because if you're working for yourself, who doesn't want to give yourself a raise? Learn more. So now I'm doing glass, and I'm doing girl stuff, and I'm doing all these other things. I have no problem. As long as it's not offensive and I can ship it and make money, I'll sell it. So widen your horizon.
Right, that's what we do too. So now, what percentage of winners don't pay? Because that's an issue we've had with auctions in the past.
Yeah, so that's the one that you guys have on me, because on your strategy have an advantage over mine, because you guys have instant pay. Sony buys it, you have to pay in order for the transaction to go through. So my percentage of how many people that don't pay, a week, because I'm doing about 80 items or so a week, I probably have 2 or 3 people that don't pay. But I don't have a problem with it. I just second chance offer it to the next guy, especially if it weren't high. Just second chance offer it, and about 50 to 60% of those guys, they'll pay for it. And if it don't, just relist it
Right.
and do it again. I'm not in a hurry. I have patience. You guys have more patience than me.
Well, I mean, I think that just so you know, so the reason why we have such a big inventory is because something always sells. So, I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, we really don't have control over what people buy, but because we have so many things out there, we strangely have a very consistent income every week. I mean, just with
because I looked at what you guys are selling and that stuff and what you guys have up, and you have a few home runs that you guys get, which is good, but you set the home run because you knew you had it. But sometimes it's potential to go higher. And even the suggestion, when you guys find collectibles, something, that Burberry coat I didn't know about, that's something I'm going to look for. I go to the estate sales, I see those kind of coats in the
you got to buy them.
Rich people, because where I live, there's some very affluent areas, just not very far from me. And I do clothes, and I'll do my best, and I'm trying to learn more and more and more.
So the other question I have is with auctions, does it get expensive to put them up? Because, some of the things that you start, relatively high, isn't the
fees get a little bit high
to list that?
As you guys know, the front-end fees is just a few pennies. It's nothing. It's 25 cents or something. Even if you put a high of something, it's $1. Yeah, the front-end fees are nothing. And essentially now they have all these, free auctions, free this, free that, because we know that eBay is going towards free on the front end because they make all that money on the back end.
Yeah, those final value fees. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 12% plus 3% for PayPal. Yeah. It's very, very high. So anybody that doesn't have a very high profit margin on their items, they can't do eBay. You must have a very, very high profit.
We always tell people, I mean, we buy stuff on eBay and we'll be amazed. I mean, we'll buy something really nice for $5.
Free shipping.
And it's like how is anyone going to make a living doing this? It's crazy, Yeah.
Yeah, people don't. That's another thing that on eBay Radio, Griff, at the radio party thing they had a thing called knowing your numbers. Well, you must know your number. If you're serious about this, you need to know your numbers. I don't know what program you guys use to list, but I just switched over from Blackthorn to 6-bit. And one of the advantages of 6-bit is that you enter your cost. If you enter your cost, it knows what your cost is. It knows what the eBay fees are. It knows what PayPal fees are. It knows what your shipping is, and it knows what your shipping paid. So I do profit loss statements, and I can see exactly what I'm doing. And most programs do not do that.
Right.
It's an expensive, powerful program, $25 a month. But if you're full-time, that's not...
So it does it cost of a good sold? I mean, will it tell you that?
Yeah, cost of goods sold. Even if it doesn't sell, you have a cost of goods not sold. It has an inventory thing in it. It has all this stuff.
Gotcha. So it sounds like you have a family or, at least a wife. I mean, so are you worried because the way you do it, if you don't list 1 week, then you aren't going to make money that week? I mean, is that a problem? No?
No, not at all.
So,
no problem. What you do, hey, we're going on a cruise in a couple of weeks, So I'm taking my family. I got a mortgage. I do the whole thing. Yeah, it's true. When you work for yourself, you don't get paid. But if you guys go on vacation, you need to put your store on vacation. So you're not going to make
we actually do.
Unless you have an assistant.
Well, we actually we have a whole thing about it. I mean, I know eBay likes you to ship the next day, but we've actually tested this. We've gone away for up to 6 weeks, and we just message people. We put our store in vacation mode, but people can still buy. If someone buys, we tell them that we're out of town and we'll ship on X date. If they want their money back, they certainly can get it back. But we're, especially when you're selling kind of specialty items, 90% of people are willing to wait, and it's very interesting. So we normally keep
the store open,
Yeah, because in the before they had this 20% final value fee discount. Before that, I would wait. But now for me, 20%. Hey, I'm throwing away $300 a month or so. So that's a chunk of change, and I want to keep my top-rated seller status because you are higher on search. You have all these advantages. Essentially, eBay is making us be very high in the customer service. We don't have to. But if you don't do it, you're not going to get 20%. 20%, hey, I'm not going to throw away $300 a month. So you just, I'm going on vacation for 10 days in next month, and So I just stop my auctions before I go, and then once I go, I let them run while I'm there. And I just answer emails when I come back.
Great.
I ship everything, and I'm back in
business.
That
makes sense.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it's no big deal. I mean, you're not on the edge of your seat. You make so much money at this that you have miles of money. That's not a problem. It's just, I'd rather keep them running, but there's nobody to ship. But, hey, I don't have a problem. I do this all by myself. I don't have anybody.
So I mean, obviously, when to store inventory, you really don't have a problem because it probably just all goes in one little shelf or something, or like a,
Yeah, I have a few boxes. I don't have, like you guys must have, I don't know, some fancy inventory system.
We have a, we live out in the country. We're in, and we have a building that we store everything in. So space is cheap.
Lucky.
Yeah,
I live in a house, it's a regular standalone house, but we have an association. We have to park our cars in the garage.
Ooh.
Yeah, wow is right. So, it's nice because nobody parks in the street and all the lawn's taken care of. Everything's beautiful. But I pull my cars out and I set up my shipping station and I have stuff, everywhere. So that's another reason. So
it's interesting. So then when you go and shop on Saturday, is almost everything sold by the next Saturday?
No, I usually buy more. I have more than I can put up. I buy more because I learn more and more. And you start buying more than you can sell. So I do have excess, but all that stuff is in my car. So I have it in my car. I have a small SUV, and then I take it out, like today. When I got the phone, I'm going to shoot all my pictures. All the big stuff I will take out, and I'll shoot all the pictures of the big stuff so I can get all the stuff out of my car. And then I'll stage all the small stuff for for Thursday. So I can ship all this. I can take pictures and do all the small stuff on Thursday. And that's just kind of a system that works for me. Because on Tuesday, I do my big stuff on Monday because I have all day to ship on Tuesday. But on Thursday, I have estate sales in the morning and only half a day to ship. So I do small stuff, and you can ship small stuff in a couple minutes. But big stuff, hey, it can take a lot more money, take more time. But if you have something big, you have to make sure that the value of shipping it has good value. So all my big items have to be good value. Nothing.
So I like when you say that because we take on big items too, because we often find it's things that people pass over, but we also want it to be worth enough to ship. Yeah. So I mean, how much are we talking about? A couple $100 or?
Oh, for a big item, most of my big items are $75 range is the lowest, and then I'll go, hey, it goes way up from there because right now I have a projector I'm selling for church. It weighs about 40 pounds, but it sells going to sell for about $600.
And then,
so hey, that kind of thing you can make money on. I bought a Singer featherweight sewing machine at the swap meet last week. And it'll sell I bought it for $125, and it'll sell for $250. So, hey, I'll make $100 on it, and it's not that hard to ship. It's a little bigger. It's not massive. Still, it just takes more time. And then a pen or something smaller, a knife, I can ship that in 2 or 3 minutes.
So I picture, and it's my head, I mean, it sounds like you have an incredible store of volume, but it sounds like you're just in a corner of a room somewhere. Is that right? I mean, it sounds like you're very...
Yeah, that's amazing.
One room of my house is my office, and then I just have my stuff stored in the garage. And just on a few shelves in the garage and some...
And so you're doing this all alone? Your wife isn't helping you or kids? No?
Well, my wife helps me at the end of the year. She does all
that does help.
So I just print out all profit loss statements and I give it to her, and she does that. She's a numbers person, and I'm not much a numbers person unless I'm counting money. So that's the only thing. But I do it all by myself.
And then as far as dealing with people when they, since you sell so much stuff, how many questions, returns, I mean, that kind of thing are you dealing with?
Yeah, it's very small. I don't know, people talk about this much more. I don't have any problem with it. When people ask a question, it's a good thing. It's an opportunity to sell them. I mean, because I come from a sales background, sales and marketing. People ask a question, give them the question. It's nice. It's an opportunity to tell you're a real person, and so you have an opportunity to sell them. So that's a good thing. Returns, you have a couple, maybe 1 or 2%. It's so small. The return is very, very small compared to what you sell. And I sell this used stuff, so,
I mean, one reason why we started our blog was when we started to sell, we would go to, like, the eBay
like the
forums, and it's so dark and so negative.
A lot of complainers over there. I don't even go there at all. I went there a couple of times. Forget this.
Yeah, us too.
We needed a place because we say the same thing. I mean, we, get messages on our phones all day long, and we love to answer it, to talk to people. It means there's some action happening. It's a chance for sale. It's great.
I know. I've been very positive. eBay has given us an avenue, as I said earlier, to sell to the whole world. Are you kidding me? Or you can market your item to the whole world for essentially a few
It's amazing.
pennies. Are you kidding?
Right.
So in this sense, like I said, you have to have a high profit margin. Today, I'm at the swap meet, and I come around the corner, and there's certain people. They're like I said, those people that do all these default storage units. And I come around the corner, there's massive people. This one guy, he's always has a giant bunch of people around his spot. And I look down, and there's a giant jug, a 30-pound jug of R12. Now, I don't know if you know what that is, but R12 is dichloride of fluoromethane. It's R12, it's refrigeration unit for all the old cars. They don't make it anymore. So I'm looking at this, and I pick it up, and it's about 3/4 full, and I go, how much? He goes, $50. And I carry it around. At that point, I knew I was going to buy it. So I was trying to find something else to negotiate. Maybe I get a better deal. So I went around, and I found a whole bunch of brand new silver plate flatware, Oneida, really fancy. And he goes, how much is this? $50. And I go, well, I got them both for $90. He wouldn't go down. It was still early in the morning, so you didn't have very much negotiating power when it's real early. But the can is going to sell for about $350. So, and the flatware is going to be probably about $150 too. So on the one sell, you make, you do this. It works really well. But you have to learn and learn and learn and learn. So that's, and it's true, I've been doing it a long time, and I don't buy junk anymore. Forget it. No more junk.
So what percentage of your sales are international sales?
Oh, yeah, international sales, probably 20%.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Way up there. Much more. People think, it's too much.
No, it's not.
Are you kidding me?
No.
It's nothing. It's so simple. And just insure it. Insure it through Stamps.com or whoever you're doing it for. The insurance people are good about it. If they lose it, just do the insurance. You're going to lose the shipping, but man, you don't want to cut out. We don't know how many, for me, as a auction person, these people are bidding on my stuff like crazy, and they have high shipping. So I want them to bid. If you take them out of the picture, it's you're cutting off.
Yeah, it's strange. We get a lot of people that ask us about it, and they try and make it like it's really complicated, and I don't understand it. Especially now that eBay has the whole global shipping program. It makes it very easy.
We love the global shipping program.
Yeah, see, I was doing the global shipping program for a while, but all my customers were complaining that the price was too high, so I went away from it. I think for the higher-end items, it works, but all the low-end items, it costs them too much. So I just went the other way, and we'll see what happens after time, but I just went back to the normal stuff and just ship it normally.
Just to kind of wrap up, I think it's interesting because you've been around on eBay for a long time now. I mean, kind of since the early days. I mean, I guess 2001.
Oh, yeah, way back.
2000. So what changes have you seen during that time? We talk to a lot of people that started on eBay in the early days, and all they do is complain about the way it is now. And they talk about the golden years, like it was really different back then, and they struggle to change, and it seems like that hasn't happened in your case, No,
you need to go with the change. That's part of life. The only thing that we can absolutely rely on is change. And eBay, yes, they greedy is not really the right word, but they're making a whole lot of money. But their avenue that they're giving to us is huge. It's just a great thing. What I've seen, competition is absolutely fierce. It's terrible. I go to the swap meet this morning. Like I said, the whole swap, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. It's at a junior college. The parking lot's full, and they're all part-time eBayers. All these people, they're all part-time eBayers, and most of them, they don't know very much. But still, I'm looking around, and I go, I missed a guitar this morning. I was buying all these pedals. The guitar pedals do really well, and the guy, and he was just a normal guy. He was selling all this stuff. And I was buying all these guitar pedals, and they're really making good money on them. They were selling me for $5 and $10 each, and they sell for $50 to $100 each. And I looked over, and I go, wonder about that guitar. It's kind of bigger, and it was an electric guitar, and then this guy goes, hey, how much is the guitar? And he looked at 125. He picked it up, pulled out his phone.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, see him, he grabbed it, put his phone in his pocket, and it probably come up with $500 or $600 guitar. Like, I missed that one. So that happens, but for me, the competition is just terrible. But, hey, just you stay ahead of them. You can only do what you can. I give these people, hey, a lot of them are out of work because the economy is so bad. Go ahead and get out there, and I give it to them. But you have to get to the estate sales earlier and earlier. It used to be the estate sale starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. You get there at 7, and you'll be in the first group. And now you got to get there like 6 o'clock in order to be in the first group.
I tell people too. I mean, this is the greatest country on the planet. There's so much excess. I mean, there's so much stuff out there.
Oh, there's so much stuff to buy.
I mean, we even have an extra kind of small building that has just stuff we haven't even put up, just because there's just so much stuff to buy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's so much, and hey, you got to face it.
It's fun.
We get paid to shop.
Right. I mean,
most girls would.
We could not buy for 6 months, and we'd still have plenty of backlog to list. So there's so much.
Yeah, I'm not that far out. I'm probably about a month or so. But what happens is I sell the good stuff, and because that happened in the wintertime during December, it starts to slow down. And you start selling lower and lower items. Because you sell all your high-end items, you want the best.
And one other thing, something we've even noticed since we started in 2008 was the whole selling on Amazon, the retail arbitrage. I mean, it seems like this whole world. Had you heard about that? People going to just like Walmart and Target and they buy retail items and then flip it on Amazon.
Yeah, but you know what? Their fees are bad over there, and their profit margin is only so-so. On some things, because you can go to the clearance section and stuff, and it's low, and it seems like they're making money, but they need to know their numbers, because I buy things, and you guys sounds like you buy the same stuff, that we're buying pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Pennies on the dollar, and these guys are 50 cents on the dollar. So you can be very, very careful about that. Yeah, you can still make money, but a lot of work and often not very much return.
I mean, we say the same thing. I think we're big champions of kind of what, the three of us do, and that's, buying kind of the specialty items and
vintage items, antiques, collectibles.
Yeah, buy low, sell high. That's what's
incredible.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, is there anything that you think we didn't cover that we should let people know about? Or
No, I mean, we're just two different strategies. For me, this works very, very well. I've tried moving toward more of the buy it now, and it didn't really work for me. I guess impatience is not the right word, but I like things to sell, and I sell these items every week. I have 120, 140 items up, and I'm selling, shipping 80 items a week or so. So, and sometimes higher, sometimes a little lower, and it's consistent all the time. But it's true. I do know what to buy.
I think that's a takeaway. Anyone hearing this, especially if they're haven't sold a lot on eBay, is that I think you make it look easy, but it's because you have a lot of experience and you really have to find the stuff that people really want.
Right, because you don't buy junk. When I go to an estate sale, my eyes are open wide. A lot of these other people, they're looking for little tiny stuff. They want this little narrow. This is what they do. They do books. No, I'll do books.
I'll do that too.
I do kitchen. I do everything. Too. And I see people looking. I look at what they're buying. I'm trying to learn too. It's harder now because it's harder to find people that are so-called better than me. But I can find people that sell different things, and I'm willing to learn all of that. But you walk into a estate sale, and you could just everything's for sale. But you can't make your niche be at the estate sale. You can only buy what's there. So there you go. Just expand your horizon and learn as much as you can. Really, it's give yourself a raise and learn a whole bunch more.
Well, man, Tim, I came into this really being anti-auctions, and I'm still not a lover of them, but I definitely see the logic of it now from at your point of view.
Yeah, there's advantages on both sides, no question. But for me, auctions work the best.
Well, Tim, thanks so much for spending a Saturday talking to us. I appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.